Sure, Chris. So you have 5 minutes and then we have 2 minutes for questions. So go ahead, you
Yeah,
can start.
perfect. So I will bring up the MDD. So this is what you should all be able to see my screen. So this is the MDD that we shared with you guys for our presentation as well, to give you a more in-depth look at what we plan on doing and how serious we're taking this. AR and VR well-being is estimated to be an $80 billion market by 2029. And what we're trying to do is bring in well-being in with how AGI is going to develop. When you look at the fundamentals of AGI, it's often from a much broader spectrum of thinking. These machines and mechanisms often think cosmologically. I'm moving my hands here, but my avatar doesn't move hands just yet. It's just my eyes, mouth, everything. So yeah, this is what we're planning to do. We have two sections of our NFT. So one section is just the AI, how it looks, the user interface, and the other side is the cave. So with the cave, it's fully customizable, but that has the AI built in. So you can mint a part that is how it looks. Maybe it's a different type of character or something. And the other side is the cave of it's already programmed into the cave. So you have to have the cave and also have to have the avatar hologram. There'll all be holograms, and we'll be using different communities to feature on these holograms too. So yeah, my background, 11 years of well-being. I did my training with the Shaolin monks in central China. I've done work with Tibetans in India. I coach CEOs and celebrities here in the UK. My entire Web 2 basis is well-being. And this is what I wanted to bring across to Web 3. I've got a few years experience here. I've got a great team behind me. And yeah, as you can see, we've got some lofty ambitions here. So these AI meditators, they're the companions. We've got the ability to already use a language model where we're able to use voices of anybody we want to, as long as we have 30 or 40 minutes of their actual voice. So we can have a fully personalized experience based on, whatever way we want to go with this, really. And then when it comes to the meditation, we're hoping that the data will be completely anonymous, but we'll be able to collect the data to then further develop singularity as well. So we'll be able to relay a lot of data back about, people's mental well-being, but without being able to tie it to people specifically. So this is something that's really attractive as well. So I don't know if I'm within my 5 minutes or I'm outside of my 5 minutes, but I'm open to questions. And yeah, if you haven't seen already, this is a 32-page document, so please do have a read. I'm pretty sure every question you'll have to ask is within that document.
Okay, thank you. You have 1.5 minutes left, so we can have 3.5 minutes for questions.
Perfect.
Okay, guys, does someone have a question? You can raise your hand. You can just unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah, sure, go for it. Just unmute yourself.
I have a small question about privacy and seclusion. Why do you think people would want to be secluded in the metaverse? They might as well switch off the computer and stay at home or something that's in a real space, right? So I was just curious as to what your thinking behind that is.
Yeah, so a lot of certainly since COVID, a lot of the issues, mental well-being issues, have been that people are on their computers far longer than they ever have been. They're immersed in their technology. So the idea of coming out of their technology to focus on themselves doesn't really exist. So we want to give someone a familiar gaming platform, essentially, so that they have somebody to talk to. And because it's anonymous, it gets rid of this layer of persona, or should I say, it gives a layer of persona where you feel more comfortable. You may feel more comfortable as a character. You feel more comfortable talking to me because I look funny. I look like a funny chameleon. You know, if you also had a chameleon, you would probably feel more open to talking about yourself. And this is where we're going with this.
Thank you, Harsha, for the question. I think Kenneth had a question. Yeah, go ahead, Kenneth.
I'm curious what the first visual version of this is going to be like for the user if I were interested in using it, and when we would expect that to drop.
Yeah, so the first visual is going to be, it'll be in the form of a link. So it won't be a downloadable program. We want to keep things nice and light. We already have a Metaverse scape for a temple. So this is going to be, we've already kind of tried and tested that. It will be fully immersive. It will be the first person or third person. You'll be able to toggle the views. It'll be low poly enough where it's realistic, but it's not too heavy. Otherwise, the loading times will be obscene. And the meditator itself will be in a hologram format.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth. We have time for one more question.
Chris, I apologize. I missed the beginning. I do a lot of guided meditation. And one of the hardest things is when you drop down to, out of beta into like an alpha stage. Is there going to be a way to program or whatever the guided part of the meditation or the serenity so you can actually implant like a self-hypnosis suggestion?
Yeah. So one of the really cool things that we're able to do is you'll be able to voice to image some visual guidance as well if you need it. The teacher itself will be giving guided meditations. It won't just be you're sat in front of a teacher and you crack on and we'll record it. It will be like you're speaking to a teacher.
Thank you, Tommy, for the question. Thank you, Chris, very much for the presentation. Sounds great.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate everybody showing up today. This is a huge, huge opportunity for us and a huge opportunity for Singularity as well. We plan to host wellbeing and metaverse events for Singularity 2 and build a wellbeing hub for you guys so that you're able to benefit too. Yeah, nice. Any further questions, please feel free to comment on the proposal. And yeah, please refer to the MDD that's linked on the proposal too.
Thank you. Dave?